Hey, what's good? What's good? Today I'm gonna be posting another video for y'all guys, and I'm gonna be reacting to the myth of self-improvement by Siphius55. Now, this is a video I've been trying to post for a long time, so just set up the camera. We good, we good. Hold up, let me put this. I need to make it bigger. Oh yeah. Hold on. Yep, yep, yep. What about this new video? Let's go. My first, my first face cam video. So guys, yeah, bear with me, bro. Bear with me. Let me react to this shit.
Whatever food we'd like, we can travel almost anywhere and pursue any career that our heart desires. And yet, depression and burnout are also everywhere. The mental health crisis has only increased. Why is this? When was the last time you felt like you were enough? We are
Okay.
always striving to do more and to be more, to always be improving ourselves. I would argue that it is this cultural emphasis on self-improvement that leaves us so fundamentally burnt out and depressed.
Yeah, cause niggas procrastinate, bro. Niggas procrastinate, and then they won't like. And not even that for real. It's like the things that the stress and anxiety and the things that hold them back is the things I experience. You know what I'm saying? That's like literally everybody. And there's self improvement. Uh, in the self improvement phase. Like if you're improving, right, you're gonna improve in certain aspects of your life. Meaning, you gotta prepare, you gotta have a plan, and you have to have a goal in mind. Cause if you don't have a plan or you don't have any of that, like you're bound to fail by any means. If you're trying to improve yourself, you're just trying to improve yourself. That's not realistic, bro. That's why I always have something in my mind what I need to do. So now I have everything. Now I know everything I need to do. Then I just I set it up like this. You know what I'm saying? You just set it up and you work on it.
Such a
It's not
culture,
hard.
we embrace
People
hyperactivity,
make
finding
it
ourselves in a state of
hard.
compulsive striving. We have little
See,
time to
that's why I'm
connect
gonna talk
with
about
both
stoicism
ourselves and
next
others.
video.
We are steeped in the normalized myth that we are each of us mere individuals, striving to attain private goals. The more we define ourselves that way, the more estranged we become from vital aspects of who we are.
We are sleep. Okay, let me read this. Okay, the more we define ourselves that way, we are slipping in the moralized myth that we are each of us mere individuals striving to attain private goals. The more we define ourselves that way, the more estranged we get from vital aspect. Oh yeah, bro.
What we need to be
Make it
healthy.
make it the whole person now.
Our culture is not good for mental health.
No, I don't know what that really means. I don't know what you mean by that.
This shouldn't be
Let him cook.
shocking
Let him
news.
cook.
Researchers like Tim Kasser have found the four principles of American corporate capitalism: self-interest, a desire for financial success, consumerism, and competition consistently lead to poor mental health outcomes. Why then do we continue to endorse and embrace such a culture?
Because it works, bro. Why I think people still make it like whatever you saying, cause like it's something. It's something that you're always gonna do in your lifetime. You're gonna be doing it continuously for your whole life. Cause if you're never gonna improve something or improve some aspect in your life that needs attention, then you repressing that part of yourself and then just ignoring it will make it worse. And then when when people don't do the work, when people face challenges or obstacles, they just they find a excuse. They find a way to like what is the word? Find a way to make it seem like they don't have the effort to actually fix that problem, or they don't want to fix it. It could be something that caused them to make them like it can make them feel emotionally just down because many things that they don't realize that affects them. But yeah,
This video is
sponsor escape.
enough.
I don't know if that
Intentional
makes
and
sense, bro.
voluntary insider
This is
Yevchenko.
kind of wait. Hold on.
Link in the description below.
I'm gonna
First
turn the
200 of
volume
you
down
will get
because
20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription.
I can barely hear you, bro.
Michel Foucault wrote extensively on the disciplinary society. This form of social organization tells people what they should do through surveillance and monitoring. Interestingly, in his later years, Foucault wrote about a more specific form of discipline that he called the technologies of the self. Intentional and voluntary actions by which men not only set themselves rules of conduct, but also seek to transform themselves, to change themselves in their singular being, and to make their life into an oeuvre.
Because nigga, if intentional and voluntary actions, what does voluntary even mean? But then it's basically saying that's me, bro. That's me, bro. I know what I'm doing, bro. I know what I'm doing. Which men not only set themselves rules of conduct, but also seek to transform themselves to change in their singular being and to make them, bro. Yeah, bro.
It carries certain aesthetic values and meets certain stylistic criteria. Such individuals might abide by a strict morning routine, practice cold showers, and subscribe to a set of self-improvement and self-help podcasts. And they will likely feel a sense of freedom and pride in doing so. Such an individual appears to stand in contrast to the fearful subject of the disciplinary society, as they aren't being compelled to follow such a strict routine by some authoritarian observer. They are free to become who they've always wanted to be. Interestingly, as Byung-Chul Han argues, a society that normalizes this technology of the self is actually more effective in extracting resources from its members than the surveillance methods of disciplinary societies. Instead of a society that runs on telling people what they should do, this new form of control tells people what they can do. This is smart power, a power that compels people to subject themselves to power relations completely on their own accord. Rather than inhibiting or repressing, smart power motivates us to self-optimize. Rather than a disciplinary society, we now live in an achievement society. Instead of the tireless surveillance of disciplinary societies that measure and observe their subjects in order to optimize productivity, we have now taken surveillance into our own hands. Motivated by the need to improve ourselves, we use apps, ranking systems, and health data.
Niggas not gonna tell you everything you need to know. Bro, you think one thing inspires you and what resonates with you, that's gonna work. But like, bro, everyone is different. If you know everyone is different, you're gonna be things, that other people are gonna experience that other people are not able to help them in. Or so like, just being aware of yourself and using what you have, to just improve yourself, because there's no excuses. Or like using smart power,
To determine if we are self-optimizing enough. The auto-exploiting subject carries around its own labor camp. As a self-illuminating, self-surveilling subject, it bears its own internal panopticon within. The digitalized, networked subject is a panopticon of itself. This ensures that each and every person has now taken on the task of conducting perpetual auto-surveillance. This is far more efficient than the techniques used in a disciplinary society. If we see ourselves as a project that can always be worked on, there is always more for us to do.
Yeah, bro.
Not only do we take on the task of monitoring and measuring ourselves, we also feel compelled to constantly improve ourselves under the idea that this is fundamentally good for us. As an entrepreneur of himself, the neoliberal achievement subject engages in auto-exploitation willingly and even passionately. The self as a work of art amounts to a beautiful but deceptive illusion that the neoliberal regime maintains in order to exhaust its resources.
Okay, bro. As a neoliberal achievement, so what I can get from what he's saying, in the auto exploitation. So when, what? Okay.
Entirely. We are then capable of unlimited self-production, making ourselves into better and better market self, and measuring ourselves. We also feel compelled to constantly improve ourselves under the idea that this is fundamentally good for us. As an entrepreneur of himself, the neoliberal achievement subject engages in auto-exploitation willingly and even passionately. The self as a work of art amounts to a beautiful but deceptive illusion that the neoliberal regime maintains in order to exhaust its resources entirely. We are then capable of unlimited self-production, making ourselves into better and better marketable commodities by making sure we are, for example, in shape, have an attractive partner, and are making enough money. And this involves more than mere career aspirations. Physical optimization means more than aesthetic practice alone. Sexiness and fitness represent new economic resources to be increased, marketed, and exploited. This compulsive drive to improve.
Okay. I'm good then. I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. Physical optimization. So the principles like it's more than aesthetic practice. So I should be. There's multiple factors. You basically saying there's multiple factors to improving yourself, I guess.
Ourselves under this idea of ourself as a project can now take over our entire lives. This pressure to achieve, to be more, and do more leads to a sort of culturally induced narcissism. As Stephen Reisner writes, narcissism and sociopathy describe corporate America, but it's flat out wrong to think in 21st century America that narcissism and sociopathy are illnesses. In today's America, narcissism and sociopathy are strategies, and they're successful strategies. In contemporary society, it is effective for us to be constantly focused on ourselves and monitoring our performance and self-image. To be so fixated on promoting ourselves is to never let your guard down, to compulsively market and improve yourself in the hopes of one day perfecting your self-project. This constant self-reference develops into a rat race within oneself, and eventually it could lead to burnout, or what...
Cause like, your mind is stuck on one rat race, one game. If you free your mind from the confines of your ego, you would know that the things that you strive for, you have to be careful for what you wish for, bro. Because once you know things that you doubt were meant for you, you would see that it would either fail or you would completely give up on it because you keep pushing yourself to go past or to just be in your ego. You're literally making a jail cell in your mind so you can keep on doing the same things you're programmed to do by the social norms of the society you're living in. So you're basically, when you're in this rat race, you have to make sure that you follow your heart, not what other people told you to do. That's what smart power is. I followed my heart. I followed what I truly wanted to do. I didn't just go randomly try to find a video I wanted to make, and then I didn't go randomly thought of self improvement, and then watch a YouTuber talk about self improvement, and all I think I need to do, like you have to make sure it's from you have to go within yourself and see what is true to you.
Chulhan describes as eye tiredness. The ego grows exhausted and wears itself down. Such tiredness stems from the redundancy and recurrence of the ego. We exhaust ourselves with ourselves. Evidently, burnout is more often than not treated as an annoyance or a failure in mastering oneself fully. It is seen as a weakness and should be treated immediately lest we run the risk of falling short of our journey towards self-optimization. But I think burnout and depression should be seen more as the very symptoms of this compulsion for achievement. In Wariness of the Self, Ehrenberg points to this achievement society as the root of this rise in depression. Depression began its ascent when the disciplinary model for behavior broke against norms that invited us to undertake personal initiative by enjoining us to be ourselves. The depressed individual is unable to measure up. He is tired of having to become himself. It is this voluntary self-exploitation that gives rise to a fractured soul. We experience severe dislocation, a loss of connection with ourselves and others, as we compulsively strive for self-perfection. Depression and burnout are simply the canaries in the coal mine in terms of demonstrating the destructiveness of such an achievement culture. This is not to suggest that self-improvement or the striving to be a better person is inherently maladaptive. Such a journey is healthy and often beneficial. However, we should pay close attention to when such a process collapses into a hellish cycle of excessive self-reference and exhaustion. It is more than likely that such an outcome is the result.
Yeah, bro. I should have took away what I said earlier, bro. You gotta free your mind, bro. Just free your mind. It's gonna do a lot.
Of self-exploitation rather than healthy, intrinsically motivated self-improvement. Alienation is inevitable when our inner sense of value becomes status-driven, hinging on externally imposed standards of competitive achievement and acquisition, and a highly conditional acceptance in others' eyes. We struggle to answer the question, who am I? And this is an important question to answer if we wish to ever truly improve ourselves. Erich Fromm's Escape from Freedom is a masterful exploration of how freedom alone can nonetheless leave us unhappy, alienated, and vulnerable to authoritarianism. Negative freedom, the absence of constraints, does not bring us closer to solving the question of who we are. We live under the illusion that we know what we want, but, as Fromm argues, the sad fact of the matter is that we want that which we are supposed to want. This, I would argue, is at the root of compulsive self-improvement.
Stop, dude. I just told you you're supposed to go with your heart. You're not supposed to follow what other people say. Oh my. Bro, if you're gonna strive for something and it happens, right? You're only gonna strive for more and more and more and more and more. The achievements and progress you make is never gonna fulfill you. If you want self-improvement, you gotta know like what is truly for you. I can't really explain that, but you gotta know what's truly for you. Because some things, just things work in ways that you can't describe. You're starting to lose and see. Like you said,
we have become automatons who live under the illusion of being self-willing individuals. He lives in a world to which he has lost genuine relatedness, and in which everybody and everything has become instrumentalized, where he has become part of the machine that his hands have built. Fromm's cure is simple: spontaneity. Seen in both artists and children, spontaneous activity does not abide by rigid self-optimization and improvement. Instead, it is an embrace of activity for the sake of the activity itself. Art, play, time with friends, and a gradual slowing down flies in the very face of the sorts of self-improvement that lead to burnout. As Fromm writes, spontaneous activity is the one way in which man can overcome the terror of aloneness without sacrificing the integrity of the self. For in the spontaneous realization of the self, man unites himself anew with the world.
Okay.
This partially relies on truly giving attention to the moment through active listening and observing. The gift of listening, as Byung-Chul Han observes, is entirely inaccessible to the hyperactive ego, which must close itself off in order to constantly measure and optimize itself. Any disruption from the outer world is considered to be a threat to achieving our potential. To listen is to open oneself up to themselves and the world around them. Our world has made us increasingly focused on ourselves as a project. This has made us rigid and incapable of spontaneity. It is only in those moments of intrinsic focus where we are doing things for themselves in which we can escape the burnout society.
Yes, bro.
Call it a flow state, spontaneity, or resonance. We find ourselves alive only when we risk destabilizing.
So basically, what I'm getting from this, intrinsic focus. Intrinsic focus. Bro, what did I just say, bro? Intrinsic focus, bro. Spontaneity. It's just something like feeding your mind the rigid and strict routine will help you find it'll help you get all that stress and anxiety and anger within. You will feel free.
In which we can escape the burnout society. Call it a flow state, spontaneity, or resonance. We find ourselves alive only when we risk destabilizing our journey towards self-perfection.
Yeah, bro.
Here, I think Bertrand Russell gives us the most succinct path forward in combating self-absorption. The secret of happiness is this: let your interests be as wide as possible, and let your reactions to the things and persons that interest you be as far as possible friendly rather than hostile. Things and persons that interest you be as far as possible friendly rather than hostile.
What is that supposed to be? Secret happiness is and your reactions to things that person interest you be as far as possible. Friendly rather than hostile. He's gonna explain that. It's literally the end of the video. I don't know. Video. If y'all learn something from it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. Like, man, bro, that's the myth. Like, right there, that's everything, bro. Like that video, go to video, bro. That video. Wait, hold on. I'ma just like it real quick. Yeah, man, this is my first video. This is my first reaction video. This is kind of cool, bro. I kind of like it, bro. I kind of like making reaction videos. It's fun. Dude, I'm gonna keep doing this, bro. Yeah, bro, definitely.